the dogs. I do it for my dogs. Who you do it for? Who you do it for?
Off the leash. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
How's it going?
Just got a big SEC win on the road.
Man,
now I know a lot of people had a lot of different feelings about this. So, let's how'd you feel about the game as far as the totality of it, looking back on it now?
Man, I mean, we got that victory. We put up 40 points, but it was sloppy. We got to be more disciplined, and there's a lot to improve upon.
There is a lot to improve upon. There's a lot. 49-23. I feel like a lot of fans are upset about, the nature of the game. It wasn't a bad game, but it was definitely sloppy. We got a lot of help from our defense and our special teams with the Campbell strip and touchdown run. That kid's gonna be great.
Gotta love that.
Defense played well, held Missouri to 23 points. Drew Lock, the ever talked about first round potential draft pick, went for 0 touchdowns. So impressions of the defense. Do you think Missouri is actually gonna be the best offense we face all year?
I still stand behind that. They were able to run the ball. Derek Dooley came out. Called a pretty balanced game. I'd say they had a pretty good red zone offense. 4 running touchdowns against us, not a good look for our defense. We're going to have to come in, get a little bit more penetration. Hopefully, I saw a lot of double teams. I thought that was kind of messing with our schemes, facing it. But honestly, I was pretty impressed. I think that if we're going to come at, Tennessee following up, we got to take some steps. But if you're going to, play a little sloppy, a victory on the road, 2-touchdown victory, can't complain with that.
Well said. And I think, while their rank or lack of rank won't reflect it, Missouri turned out to be a better team will turn out to be a better team. Them, South Carolina, Kentucky might have a brawl at the top for second in the SEC.
Yeah, I think that Kentucky is going to probably end up beating Missouri because if you look at Kentucky, they have a top 15 defense right now. They're looking pretty good on that side of the ball.
Strong offensive line, too.
Strong offensive line. They got these recruits, pretty flashy quarterback. I think that they're not as talented on offense overall, but their defense looks good, and I do think that they'll end up with second place. We'll see.
And they're ranked 17 right now. So, we've kind of been talking over the season. We are now 2-0 versus the 4 Tennessee teams that we're playing.
That's right.
We've gotten our first Tiger hunt. We got the first Tiger head mounted of our 4. LSU, Auburn, and Kentucky all looking like potential games. And you were kind of talking about how at the beginning of the season, Georgia's got the week schedule, with our out of conference games being a joke, and then the SEC East being down. But look at our path now. We will be a credited team with good wins, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you look at a team like Alabama last year, they did lose to Auburn, but it was because of their strength of schedule and their dominant performances in the games that they did win.
Yes,
that's what made the difference, and they were able to leapfrog, to get into the college football playoff. So you look at Georgia's schedule, like you mentioned, we got some games coming up that yes, we looked at. We're like, this might be challenging. LSU at home, we got. But LSU could easily, they're ranked number 5 right now. That could be a top 5, top 4, probable top 10 matchup.
Huge game. My only concern right now, as far as the season goes, to be 100% honest, for me, that's going to really make the season.
Well, I mean, they've been playing good in the red zone, but their offense consistency, the quarterback Burrows, he's looking like he's digging a Duro in the dirt sometimes with some of those ground balls.
Yeah, he's good, but let's see a little more. You know what I mean?
He's kind of
a little more.
He's the definition of a game management, and he's looking
management.
Yeah, he's looking kind of subpar.
And management.
Yeah,
you keep playing.
I'm a call security, but I think that absolutely, that's a big game. Auburn, if they keep winning, basically of all these teams, I'm rooting for them until they play Georgia because every single one of them
make our resume look real good.
Dude. I think Auburn. I think Auburn plays LSU before we do. One of these teams plays each other. No, you're right. Yeah.
LSU.
So is it Kentucky? Is it Kentucky that plays? One of these teams plays LSU before they play us.
It's one of those. I'm not sure.
Either way, we have a potential to have at least 3 top 10, maybe a couple of top 5 matchups with some of these SEC West opponents, and then Kentucky. So, and Kentucky looks pretty good. I'm Bob Stoops is doing a lot with that program. So
yeah, and we asked for some restraint, from Georgia fans. I'm hearing some people out there,
Man.
belly aching because we lost this game. This is an SEC road game that we played bad and lost by 14. The future's bright for us. Like I saw a stat to where we are the 15th youngest team in the nation right now.
Yeah.
So and we're number 2 right now. Just like let that sink in for a second. Like
future's bright.
Future's very bright.
Number 1 recruiting class coming up
on the way.
And this game cannot be diminished because despite Tennessee, not being ranked, they just got walloped by Florida at home. Despite Jeremy Pruitt struggling, having players quit. There's a lot of drama at Tennessee right now. But this is a big game.
Yeah.
With recruiting.
Make no mistake about it.
There's going to be some big players up there coming up with the Tennessee, so we'll get all into that in the preview. But, we have a lot of momentum coming into this, so.
No, definitely, dude. Definitely well said. And we talked a little bit about, being ahead of schedule. Like, for me, from the things I've seen, the best teams in the nation is usually when their stars are juniors. Right now, we have Jake Fromm and John Dre Swift, who are going to be our stars.
Mm-hmm.
They're still sophomores, and they've been in a national championship game. Like,
gotta love
dude,
it.
Kirby has really set us up, and we'll see where this goes. Again, like, we're going to be able to grow over the season. So
yeah, and I think if you're going to have a sloppy game, let it be against Missouri.
Yes.
Let it be with a victory with 2 touchdowns. If you look at these great teams in years past, there's always some games that go a little bit
Survive
sloppy.
in advance,
that Jameis Winston year, they went, they were able to have 3 or 4 pull out very close victories. And I just think that if we can take it as a test, let it, to handle it internally, improve some on the discipline, we have to do better against the run, because I will say that Missouri is a great offense, but there might be better teams down the stretch that are as far as running teams go, so it's very important that we grow in the areas that we've seen us have some struggle in, but hey, I feel great.
Yeah,
so.
We should, as fans, we should feel good about where we're at. We're going into games. The spread for the Tennessee game is ridiculous. Now, granted, we've scored 40 points in every game, and they just got embarrassed at, against Florida, but they had 6 turnovers. Like you were saying, you expect them to bounce back this week. You expect Jeremy Pruitt. Like, these are, again, for coaches, you can have a terrible season. For a team like Tennessee, if you beat a Florida, a Georgia, and Alabama, your job is safe. I'm telling you right now. So they're going to give us everything they have. That may not be enough, but that's fine.
Probably won't be.
We'll take this and we'll move on. We'll rack up another one for SEC, but we'll get into that a little bit more in the preview. As far as updates from what we saw in the game, Terry Godwin, I don't think he actually finished the game, but he looks all right.
Yeah.
Monty Rice ended up dealing with some leg injury, and then there was one more person who
Ben Cleveland,
and then Ben Cleveland.
Yeah,
Ben Cleveland
4 weeks, but thank God you hate to see someone like Ben Cleveland go down.
That's a big old boy.
Looks like the Mount off Game of Thrones.
Seriously,
need to put some memes up for that.
Yeah, really good,
especially when he comes back. Welcome back, Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, you hate to see him go down. That was a guy that came in with Eason. He's been a big dude in our program. But luckily we have depth at offensive line. It's not going to be as big of a problem in years past. Some of these freshman phenoms, we got some big old boys up in there, you know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
So, I feel like we're going to be okay, especially against Tennessee. They do have some elite players, in the front 7, but we'll see, So
yeah.
So
and for the fans who may be wondering, I just got a direct message from Jason Bateman. He has told me that he has chosen the University of Georgia as the winner of the battle for the Ozarks. Drew Lock & Co. just didn't have enough. Jason and, while it's based in Missouri, I think he likes the location filming out here in the Atlanta area. I can't say I blame him. So yeah, thank you, Jason Bateman, for that, dude. If you're ever in town looking to make a rom-com, dude, I'm available. Call your casting director. Tell me up. But yeah, man, it was a good win. And, next, nothing like rivalry, or is it not? Getting ready for the Tennessee. Dude, the University of Tennessee. That orange, dude. That orange.
It burns my eyes.
But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Tennessee. But guys, thanks for sticking in there with us and being a part of our podcast.
Off the leash.
Signing off. Off the leash.